Hey, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let's make this delicious carne guisada. Well, carne guisada is one of my most absolute favorite things to make. We've actually done it before on this channel. It's one of our wildly popular recipes. It's super easy to make. I believe when I cooked this previously, I said, this is what I have on the weekend with my wife. We go to what we call our hole in the wall Mexican place to have tacos, and I always have carne guisada. So what is it if you don't know? I'll describe it as like a Tex-Mex kind of like stew. We're basically gonna tenderize some meat, simmer it for a few hours, and the meat is just gonna fall apart and be absolutely delicious. You can eat it on a plate with rice and beans. You can serve it in flour tortillas as tacos, which is what I do on the weekend. It's really good. You gotta try this, so let's jump into it. You need 3 pounds of meat. Typically, I get a chuck roast and cube it up to brown it. I'm gonna use a little different meat today, but even if you don't have this meat, you don't have to click out of this. You can keep watching this and cook it with beef, but I've got something special today. So this is a black bear that I was lucky enough to harvest in Alberta recently. And there's a big misconception about bear. People think it's not great to eat. That's not true. Cam Hanes said on the Joe Rogan podcast recently that natives used to prefer bear and they only shot deer for the hides. So I'm here to tell you, bear is a lot like beef, but I'll say better. So I'm gonna cube up the shank. Usually shank meat is reserved for stew, and that's exactly what we're gonna do with this. I've already made this out of a shank, and it was super delicious, super tender. But like I said, you don't have to have bear meat. You can use beef or whatever meat that you wanna use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this up into small pieces, and if you're a wild game guy, I'm gonna remove a bunch of the silver skin, because silver skin and sinew is where gamey flavor comes from. So the more that you remove, the more clean this is gonna taste. So you just wanna cut this into pretty small pieces, however you wanna do it. Since it's gonna cook forever and break down, nothing really bigger than that. As I mentioned, we're gonna brown it at first, and it's gonna simmer for hours until it just falls apart. Anytime I'm cooking wild game, if you're using venison or whatever, I try to separate the muscles so that I can remove as much of that sinew and silver skin as I can. We wanna season this up simply. I love our Blanco, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, a little bit of butter. Our holy cow would also be great. I just want savory, I don't want any sweet. We're gonna brown up the meat, so I'm gonna turn the fire on my enameled Dutch oven. And then for my fat, I'm using a little bit of beef tallow. You could use oil or butter. This is gonna have a beefy taste anyway, and beef tallow is better for you. It's a good fat. And so at this point, what we're trying to do is we wanna brown the meat to build some flavors rather than just braise it all day. So you want to try not to overcrowd your pan, depending how much you're doing, because this meat will kick out some moisture, which will slow the browning down. It's not the most critical thing in the world. So I'm going to end up doing this in 2 batches. So I'm just going to line the bottom of the pan, and as it browns, flip it over, give it 7-8 minutes, and move on. So if you're bold enough to use bear, this is an inland bear. Black bears taste different depending on their location. I think bear gets a bad rap because if you're eating coastal bears that are eating a lot of fish, particularly rotten fish, you're gonna pick that up in the meat and it's not gonna taste as good. So this is from northern Alberta. I hunted this bear with my good friends, Johnny and Jen Rivet. I've known them for a really long time through the outdoor cooking world. So just went on a super cool adventure, flew up to Edmonton, rented a car, drove 4 hours up to bear camp, amazing bear camp. Not to name drop, but if you want a little credibility, Cam Hanes was in the same camp the week before me. The co-owner of Montana Knife was in camp. Joe Rogan has hunted with these guys. Luke Bryan, Zach Brown. The Rivets are legendary in the bear hunting world. So I've been trying to get up and hunt with them for a long time. It's a ton of work. It's a ton of fun. The most rewarding hunt I think I've ever been on. And it's going to be even more rewarding when they honor this animal with this amazing meal. Pretty soon, you'll be able to come to Meat Church and see the bear mount, which we're definitely excited about. Take a little time for taxidermy and get it shipped down to Texas, but you can come to Waxahachie in 2027 you'll see that beautiful black bear. All right, once you've got it nice and browned up, pull it out, go with your second batch. Before we saute the vegetables, I'm gonna put a little stock in. I'm gonna deglaze a little bit, get some of those tasty bits off the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna pour that over the bear, and then I'm gonna saute my vegetables. All right, now we're gonna saute our veg, a little bit of olive oil. Pan's still hot. We've diced up about 1 large white onion, 1 large bell pepper, and a bunch of garlic. More the better for me, probably 6-7 cloves. You just want to cook this until it's nice and translucent. Bear hunt, I mentioned, was very rewarding. I did not realize how much work it was. Cam FaceTimed us day of the first hunt, told us, you know, how much work it was and therefore to enjoy it. But rough country, hunting public land, you actually bait for bears, but there's also misconceptions around that. It's smart because we only wanted to harvest mature boars. You don't want to spot and stalk and just shoot some random bear. You end up killing a sow, and if you end up shooting a sow and it has little cubs, those cubs are dead, because at this point the cubs been on the ground since April or so, and they'd have no chance to make it. So anyway, when you bait, it gives you time to actually sex the bear so that you can see what it is. Some friends of mine asked me, they saw pictures on social media, you know, like you had this white stuff on the trees. Well, we poured oats in a 55-gallon drum with used cooking oil with little holes in it, and the bears love to eat that. But we also painted the trees with icing, and the icing was good because I'd always get me a taste before I painted the trees with it. Now that everything's translucent, we're in with 4 diced Roma tomatoes, which we're gonna cook for about 2 minutes until we add everything else. But I went a couple days with, you know, watching, being very particular, trying to enjoy the hunt. Bears are very curious. Also put a video on my social media of a sow who kept trying to come up my ladder, and I've never hunted bear. That was a little unnerving, but they're just curious, wanting to kind of see, you know, what you're up to. But got to see a sow walk in with 3 itty-bitty cubs, and another bear walked in, and she ended up running her cubs, had to be 100 feet up a tree, and this big old mama got to the top of the tree, which was crazy. So a lot of respect for those moms. It's a full-time job trying to keep those babies alive. Other bears will come in and they'll kill the cubs so they can mate with her again. And you know, last thing I'll kind of say about why do you do this. Conservation is important. So this is very regulated by the Canadian government, just like everywhere. And if you don't manage these bears, you're going to end up having them eat, you know, all sorts of moose calves and like I said, you know, cubs, and they just wreck crops. And so they're the top of the food chain. So basically you're kind of keeping them in check just a little bit, but can't thank John and Jen enough for the most memorable hunt ever. All right, time to add everything else. So we've got some tomato paste, some cumin, 1 cube of beef bouillon, about a tablespoon of Meat Church Texas chili seasoning, a little bit of holy cow, salt, pepper, onion, garlic. Just mix that in, let it cook for just a minute, break up that bouillon. All right, that's looking good. Now we're gonna add some flour and cook it for about 2 minutes. Man, this smells epic. This is southwestern heaven right here. Keep it moving, don't want to burn it, but you want to cook that flour. You don't want to add the liquid until the flour's cooked. I'm gonna put about another cup in here. You can use stock or broth. Just kind of stir that around. Then we're gonna reintroduce our bear and all the liquid that was in there. Now this is important. Bear can carry trichinella, and so the way you eliminate that, you have to cook it to at least 165. We're gonna be simmering this for hours, so it's gonna be well over 200, so there's gonna be no concern. Now you wanna add the rest of the stock or broth, which is a couple cups. This is kind of like to your desired consistency and how long you're gonna simmer this. And don't worry if you don't add enough, because you can add in. If you add too much, we're actually probably gonna thicken it in the end. So again, depends how long you simmer this. You need to simmer this for a couple hours at a minimum. At that point, this meat's going to be over 200 degrees. It's going to be not only safe to eat, but it's going to be fall apart tender, and it's going to be delicious. But if you simmer it all day, you might run low on stock. If it ends up being too runny at the end, we'll make a little cornstarch slurry, 1-to-1 cornstarch and water. We'll introduce that, we'll stir it up, it'll thicken it up, and it'll be time to go. This is just like when we make chili. The longer you simmer this, the better it's gonna be, in my opinion. If you're doing this in a slow cooker, you can just let this roll all day. This is a pretty good consistency, but again, if you're going all day, you're probably gonna need a little more liquid in it. So we're gonna let this roll, we're gonna let this simmer for a couple hours, and then we're gonna be back to see how we did. We've been simmering this for about 4 hours. It's evening here. We're gonna have it for dinner. I said you only got to go a couple hours, but it certainly is okay if it goes longer. So you can see still simmering here. I just been stirring it throughout the day, and I mean I could show you with an instant read thermometer. Obviously, you know with the simmer that it's hot enough, but I'll just poke a piece of meat. So 200 degrees, if you can see that, but it's still really runny. You know, as we mentioned, too much broth or stock, depending how long you cook it. So we're going with the cornstarch slurry I mentioned, 1-to-1 cornstarch to water. Just use a tablespoon or so, mix that in, stir it up, and then give this a few minutes to thicken, and then we're gonna be ready to eat. It's been 8-10 minutes, and you can see the consistency here. It's much thicker, so just a personal preference thing. And as I said in the beginning, you can just eat this like a stew. I like to have it on tortillas, but I'm gonna go get my sides ready while this cools off and be ready to take a bite and see how delicious this Alberta black bear is. Well, I'm super excited for the dinner that my family's gonna have tonight with this. This will be one of the most rewarding things that I've ever cooked. But all right, we're gonna eat this a couple different ways, but I think what I'll show you at first, I'm gonna put some of this meat down here on the block and just show you how tender it is with the back of my spoon. Just kind of, look at that. So just super tender, falling apart. Let's get a little bite here. Some meat. That's unbelievable. I'm telling you, just the flavors from this gravy is insanity. Like this is unreal. I mean, clearly the meat just falls apart. Growing up, this would be the consistency of pot roast, but you'll never eat pot roast again after you do something like this. This is lights out. But I told you in the beginning, I like to have this as tacos, normally cilantro and onions. So I'm just gonna have some just like this on a fresh tortilla. Man, tortilla is just falling apart. That's unreal. I mean, super rewarding to travel all the way to Edmonton, drive 4 hours north to bear camp, spend bear camp with some of the most amazing people, the Bow Rack out of Oregon, a couple awesome guys from Salt Lake City, Gage and Jared, to work with these guys all week and to be successful on a beautiful Alberta black bear. Nothing more rewarding than to enjoy it like this and honor the animal by using 100% of that animal to feed your family. You guys definitely have to try this recipe. Don't have to have bear, as I've said several times. Certainly you can use beef with it. But hey, if you haven't checked out our podcast, we dropped an episode 2 days ago where I went over all of this hunt, all the fishing I did in Canada. Had Christian, my oldest son, in on that podcast to kind of recap an amazing trip to Canada. Absolutely love Canada, but spending a lot of time in Alberta and British Columbia for a couple weeks doing a lot of stuff in the outdoors was a ton of fun. So our podcast has had a lot of really cool guests lately. Von Miller, former MVP of the Super Bowl, Cleto from Flatland Calvary, Kevin Van Dam. You guys be sure to go back and check that out. There's always going to be cards at the end pushing you, to the podcast if you want to check it out. But we appreciate you guys being here. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Your subscriptions are frankly why we keep doing these weekly how-to cooking videos. So thanks for being here. See you guys next week.